dark and difficult times lie ahead. Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy.
Hi folks, it's just a quick update video really for the video I put out on the 10th of November this year, 2019, which was to do with the pillock, shall we say, that let off fireworks during the moment's silence where people were paying their respects at the Remembrance Day. Now, I've had a lot of comments on these videos. Most of them have been great. I mean, you know that I like to interact with you and I will always try and respond where I can. However, there have been a few comments that haven't been particularly nice. And for me, that's not a problem. I've got thick skin. I can take the abuse from people, and I will do until it gets to a point where it becomes harassment or outright argumentative rather than just trying to share an opinion. Which is why most people will, as you've probably seen, have huge threads where there's a to and fro between me and a particular idiot who just simply wants to engage me in an argument rather than a debate. And then eventually it gets to the point where I just have to let them go and ban them from commenting anymore. And it's not really the style that I wanted to take when I started this channel. I want people to be able to have their free speech, their freedom to speak and share their opinions. And for the most part, people will and do on this channel. But as I say, when it gets to a point where it becomes beyond free speech, where it becomes purposely argumentative, or where it becomes harassment, then that's where I have to draw the line and call it a day. In my video about the Remembrance Sunday event with a firework, I spoke about how I felt the police weren't doing what they should have done. They didn't try to de-escalate the situation with all of the people that were around who were there to celebrate the lives of those who have died, and actually went hands-on with some of these people. Now, I get completely that these people were pissed. Somebody had disrespected that moment of silence. Somebody let off that firework, which is disrespectful. But letting off a firework in itself isn't against the law, and nowhere in my video did I say that. My main concern with that situation is that rather than the police making the public, the people that were around, aware that they were going to deal with the guy, or at least speak to him, all they've done is they blocked the doorway into the premises, which I understand. I understand why I did that, to make sure that the guy was safe, because ultimately, whether he's done something wrong or not, he shouldn't be attacked. But the police stood at the doorway to stop people accessing the premises that he was in. But then they went hands-on with some of the public that were there, which for me was way out of order and could have been completely avoided had some officers stood at the door and other officers been talking to the guy up at his window and, you know, telling him whatever it was they needed to tell him, you know, come down, let us in, we need to speak, whatever it might be. But they didn't. They did nothing at all in that respect. However, it does turn out that the guy was subsequently arrested. So fair play to the police for actually going and arresting the guy. But that could have been done, or that could have been made clear at the beginning, in my opinion, rather than allowing the public that were gathering to get more and more angry because you were doing nothing. It could have been placated by you simply telling the crowd, we are dealing with it, we can't deal with it while you're here, you know, we're trying to get access to go and sort it out for you, okay? But it's almost as though the police disrespected the Remembrance themselves by, well, especially going hands-on with some of the people that were there. Now, if you want to read this up yourself, just pop in arrested fireworks Remembrance Day and you're going to get a whole list of websites that are talking about this. So I've just opened the Mail Online for this story to see what they have to say. I'm presuming they're all going to be pretty much the same. So this is Squatter 38 is jailed for 16 weeks after he ruins a Remembrance Sunday 2-minute silence by setting off fireworks into a crowd of veterans. Now, I didn't know that it was set off into a crowd of veterans, which then makes it clearly illegal and an arrestable offence. I just thought he had let the fireworks off and they'd gone up in the air. There was nothing in the video that I had and that I shared with you that suggested that the fireworks went into the crowd. But it's saying here, and this is the first time I've read this story. So hundreds of people gathered at the cenotaph for minute silence in Eccles, Salford. Stuart Potts was squatting at a disused pub across the road from the cenotaph. 38-year-old Potts, who has 21 previous convictions, fired fireworks into crowd. Potts pleaded guilty to a public order offence and has been jailed for 16 weeks. Ex-Royal Marine said the loud bangs affected his post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's one of the things that, to be fair, I didn't mention in my other video about how the noises could have affected people with post-traumatic stress. I didn't mention it. I didn't think of it at the time. My apologies for that, but that's clearly a reason there why it was wrong. So here we go. A squatter who ruined a Remembrance Sunday event by setting off fireworks into a crowd of veterans has today been jailed for 16 weeks. Stuart Potts let off 2 fireworks as the last post ended and hundreds of people stood observing the 2-minute silence for the war dead at the cenotaph in Eccles, Salford on Sunday. Potts, squatting at a disused pub across the road from the cenotaph, fired the fireworks while sat on the ledge of a first-floor window. Wearing military-style camouflage fatigues, the 38-year-old pleaded guilty to 1 count of throwing a firework in a public place and a public order offence at Manchester Magistrates Court today. A former Royal Marine told the court the fireworks affected his post-traumatic stress disorder and said Potts' actions were the most disrespectful thing he had witnessed at such an event. That's him there, Stuart Potts. Let's close this. So, Beth Pilling, prosecuting, told the court Potts, who fired 2 fireworks, the first resulting in loud bangs and the second rocket which flew 15 feet above the heads of the 300-strong crowd at the event. A crowd of angry veterans gathered outside the pub window shouted, "Get him out," and trying to break the door of the pub down, with others attempting to climb up to the window. Now, I will say I understand why they were doing that. I can't say that I agree with it, but I can understand why they were trying to get access. I mean, that is a very emotional time for a lot of these people. Many of them, veterans, would have lost friends, maybe relatives in war, in combat, and this would have been a very emotional time for them. So I can understand why they would have been pissed at this guy. A lone police officer stood blocking the door, shouting into his police radio as he struggled to hold the crowd back from getting inside. Now, I've got to say, I didn't see one police officer. I'm pretty sure there was more than one police officer there in the video. It appears that these newspapers have got the same video as I have, but it seemed to me that there was more police officers than one at that position. When Potts from Salford appeared at the window to remonstrate with the crowd, a number of traffic cones were launched at him before he retreated back inside. Now, again, I only saw 1 traffic cone being thrown, and it actually came down and hit a police officer on the head, as far as I can remember. Police reinforcements soon arrived and Potts was bundled into a police car which quickly sped away. Judge Mark Hadfield told Potts, "I question how genuine your remorse is. This appalling behaviour arose out of you being in possession of firework. Even if you were handed the fireworks, which I doubt, no one in their right mind would think letting them off would be a mark of respect. It showed a staggering lack of respect to those being remembered and those attending the event. So concerned with the witnesses at the initial firework, he thought it was gunfire. It had a detrimental effect upon him." Potts has 21 convictions for 39 offences. A court heard a statement from an ex-Royal Marine at the event to place a cross at the cenotaph for a fallen comrade who said the loud bangs had reminded him of combat and it had affected his PTSD. He also said it was the most disrespectful thing he had witnessed at such an event. Several people condemned Potts after he was identified as a suspect yesterday. One woman said, "Safe to say I'm disgusted. Got to the cenotaph to pay respects for all those who fought for us to give us the freedoms we have today." I've said that in my previous video, but I use that word very lightly in this day and age. From those who fought in the world wars to those who fought like my dad and those still fighting today, for it to be completely ruined by people firing fireworks into the crowd, showering members of the public with embers and sparks from the fireworks. Dogs have been left petrified and the Eccles community in shock, very disappointed and let down by people's lack of respect and disregard for people's safety and feelings towards such a sentimental day. Now, again, I want to say well done to the police for actually taking action, and well done to the court for taking action. I didn't know that the firework was thrown into the crowd, as I say, but clearly it was thrown at the crowd, maybe not into the crowd. Now, this is where I come to a comment in particular from a subscriber. Now, I get lots of abuse on this channel, and I also get much more genuine comments from people who want to have a discussion or who want to talk about the video or have something of genuine interest to say about the video. Whether it be criticism or not, I am all for it. But sometimes it gets to a point where people overstep the mark and it doesn't become criticism, it becomes abusive, it becomes offensive. Now, for me, abuse and being abusive to me and being offensive to me is not a problem. That's like water off a duck's back. But when you're abusive and offensive about people that aren't able to stand up for themselves, for example, then that becomes a problem for me. When you start being harassing, i.e., you continually try and incite an argument from me, you continually try and draw me in to your little world and try and get me to engage with you in a way that will make me say something that you can then try and use against me. Not going to happen. I tell you something now, you have got far less on me, which is clear from the intelligence that you put into your comments. Now, again, generally I don't ban people from commenting on the channel. Recently I've had to ban a couple, but this is one that somebody who will be getting banned, but I'm not banning him just yet. I'll tell you for why. Here we have Question Ade. Okay, this is somebody with 3 subscribers, which are probably 2 other fake accounts and his mum. Is another faceless profile. You know, I've got nothing against people wanting to remain anonymous. That's absolutely fine. But this is a faceless profile. Somebody who is simply trying to incite a reaction from me. And this is your reaction, Question Ade. So I'm not going to go through all of this because this is a long thread. I'm just going to show you this first comment, and then I'm going to show you the last comment from him. And I want to know what your thoughts are on this piece of shit, because that's what he is. Please feel free to go and check out the full thread on the disrespectful runtlets of Fireworks during Remembrance Day silence video, or you can let him know in the comments under this video. Be aware that the guy is probably going to report comments because he clearly has a need to push his narcissistic tendencies onto everybody else, but it's exactly the type of candidate that you would expect to cry to YouTube when you say something that he doesn't like. So just bear that in mind. So this is his first comment. How the fuck has this got anything to do with police abusing powers? What can or should the police do about anyone or any group disrespecting other individuals or groups? How is it anything to do with the police other than to make sure the lynch mob didn't exact instant justice on the disrespectful dickhead? First of all, go and read my about page. That will tell you that this channel is not just about police abusing their powers. It's about anybody in authority not doing what they're supposed to do. That's it. So, fuck you, Question Ade. Next one. What are the police to do with about groups disrespecting other individual groups? Personally, I think they should let them get on with it. That's my personal belief. If you are simply being disrespectful, then who cares? We are the ones that allow something to upset us or not. Somebody tells, you know, I can be called anything you like. I have people comment about my kids. Do you know what I mean? I choose whether to let that upset me or not. And it doesn't. So they do not win. I do not give them that satisfaction. Water off a duck's back. And the police shouldn't be getting involved unless it becomes a criminal incident, i.e. it becomes harassment, or it turns into a fight, or somebody's inciting violence. Other than that, fair game. Say what you got to say, I don't care. So, how did Dan, the policeman, turn a narrative towards politically correct policing? Well, I'm not even going to respond to that. Is it illegal to let fireworks off during a 2-minute national virtue signalling contest? I don't think it is yet. Well, number one, how would you feel if I said that you're being virtue signalling by telling people, for example, that you went to visit a dead relative's grave to pay your respects? How would you feel if somebody said that to you? Because a lot of these people have lost family members. A lot of them may have lost sons or daughters. And a lot of them have lost some of the best friends they ever had. And you're calling it virtue signalling. I understand that everybody's got an opinion on this, and I understand not everyone is all for the military, but I think that is a little bit out of order. I don't think it is yet. Should it be? Well, no, letting off fireworks generally isn't illegal, but letting them off in a public space is. And now we know that he threw the fireworks at the crowd or towards the crowd, then that does make it illegal. It does make it a very big problem. What else is so disrespectful it should be illegal? Disrespecting the Holocaust, 9/11, 7/7, the gunpowder plot, etc. Who decides? The person who takes offence is the person who decides whether that's offensive or not, or disrespectful. Not the police, not the courts. It's got nothing to do with anybody else apart from the person who that disrespect is being pointed towards. And if you allow it to upset you, then that person who's saying it wins. So no, I don't think that disrespecting people should be illegal, and I never said it should. All I can see in this video was the police making sure the lynch mob didn't reach their potential victim, which is actually the police doing their job. Arresting the dickhead was the police abusing their power. Well, obviously not. Obviously not. Now, at the time, we didn't know about the firework. We knew about the firework, but we didn't know it was thrown at the crowd. However, letting a firework off in that crowded place is going to cause alarm and distress to some people, even more so that a lot of them have been in combat situations, which you, Question Ade, I think that the most combative situation you've probably been in is trying to get your pants off to your mum's lingerie catalogue so you can pull one off. Even if the dickhead is never taken to court and released without charge, the police have abused their powers by sending out the signal that you will be arrested if they deem your level of disrespect cannot be tolerated. Again, that's not what I said in my previous video. This is how it worked in East Germany under the Stasi. Disrespectful dickheads start to police themselves, so eventually no one does or says anything in case someone else finds it disrespectful. So what is it you're trying to do then, Question Ade? What is it you're trying to do? You're trying to tell me that I can't have an opinion. So doesn't that make you an Nazi? You're telling me that my opinion doesn't matter. You're telling me that my opinion is wrong. So are you, do you wear a brown uniform? I mean, people really need to read their comments before they press the submit button. Because it just makes you look like an absolute cunt. This stupid twat's videos are such transparent propaganda, it's hilarious. Well, I mean, if you think that my videos are propaganda, please let me know in the description below. If you think that my videos try and highlight situations or incidents to help other people understand them or to help prevent them from being in similar situations, again, please let me know in the comments below. Hey, that rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Now, if we scroll down to, as you can see, there's quite a few comments there. So this is the one that upset me, and I only saw it today, but it was done yesterday. What a fucking monkey you are. So far up your own backside, it's comical. I'll continue to take the piss out of your content because it's so ridiculous. Only dumb cunts like your bum chum, True Reporter, can take it seriously. Attacking the police is fucking easy because they genuinely fuck up on a daily basis. Generally, what you attack them for is when they actually do the job they're meant to do. No, it's not. No, it's not. They might be doing their job, as in arresting somebody, but the assaults and manhandling and the lies and the forged evidence and everything else that goes along with it is not their job to do, and that's what I pick them up on where I can. To suggest they should arrest anyone for disrespecting or offending the mob just to placate the mob is dim beyond reason. Well, again, I never said that in the first place, so there's only one dim person here, pal, and that's you. Calling it alarm and distress is a bit snowflakery, isn't it? Well, the courts didn't seem to think so. The people who saw, and they didn't say everybody felt that way. It might have made me jump, but it wouldn't have caused me alarm and distress as such. But there were a lot of people there who have had bullets flying around their head, bombs going off, you know, in close proximity to them, people dropping dead next to them. So yeah, it causes alarm and distress, and no, I don't think it's snowflakery. One dickhead with a few fireworks caused a mob of strapping lads alarm and distress, did he? Ah, diddums. Are you sure they're not all going to need special counselling after such a frighteningly shocking attack? The poor loves must want to cuddle on a fistful of Valium to get over it. Now that is the level of cunt that Question Ade is. To suggest that people that were there with post-traumatic stress disorder, who have seen countless people die, who have had to kill other people, who have had bullets whizzing past them, maybe even shot and injured themselves, calling them snowflakes and taking the piss like that is absolutely disgusting. I mean, God forbid any of your family, I mean, it happens, do you know what I mean? Can't be helped, it happens. But God forbid somebody in your family was dead or died from a car accident or they were murdered. And somebody turned around to you and went, ah, diddums. You know, I'm just going to pull a relative out of the air. Let's just say it was your dad. And he was murdered. And somebody came up to you afterwards and went, oh, don't stop crying, you pathetic little cunt. Do you know what I mean? What's the matter with you? Have some Valium and go and have a cry, you pussy. Yeah? See what I'm getting at here? You're an absolute idiot. And you needed to be called out on this. So, anyone who's watched this video to the end, please let me know what you think in the comments below. About my channel as well. I'd love to know what you think about the channel. And what you think about Question Ade before I ban him from the channel completely. So, yeah. Let's let him know what we think of him, shall we? Anyway, that's it for me. I've done this video because I was a little bit pissed off about that second comment I've just read to you, and I just felt that the guy needed highlighting in some way so the rest of you guys can see the kind of people that unfortunately I have to deal with on quite a regular basis. But thankfully most of you are absolutely brilliant and I love you all. So continue commenting, continue sharing your opinions. I will continue to interact with you in the comments where and when I can. And I'm going to leave it there. So thank you once again for your time. Good night all. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, hit that subscribe button up the top there. If you haven't already, become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.